Hello, hello, hello. Hooligan Soccer Podcast coming at you. Once again, this is 3 episodes in the space of about 5 days for us, Qooligan. This one is the Champions League game week 5. We had the MLS Premier League game week 5 Champions League with myself, Gary Striker. Yeah. And as always, I don't know, we'll find out what mood he's in, the Qooligan. How are you, Qooligan?
Oh, it's a mood. It's just a mood.
It's just a mood.
No, I'm thrilled for the Champions League coming up. First, we have to get through all the standard league fixtures over the weekend before we get into that. But still, it's going to be good. There's some really, really juicy and meaty fixtures coming in.
There are indeed, there are. And of course, we would be remiss if we did not say hooligan-soccer.com is where you can find all of our musings and writings. There's a lot of sort of analytical insights as well coming up, particularly as we get into the Crucible, which is the holiday fixture schedule, which is becoming thick and fast. And so there will be lots of sort of writings. We've got some interesting insights and analytics and banter and all the rest of it from obviously our stable of journalists and writers that are along with the Qooligan and myself as well, sometimes when I can be bothered to get the quill out and start putting pen to paper and
bothered. Yeah, there it is. That sums up your writing style. That sums up your writing style to it perfectly.
Something has bothered me enough to be able to pull out the quill. Yeah.
No, it's true. It's true.
There we go.
You are extraordinarily reactive in that regard. So
that's true. This is true. Yes. Different folks for different strokes. Hey, horses for courses, as they say. Okay, let's get into it chronologically. We got there's a lot of interesting fixtures this week. Let's start chronologically. Opening 2 games on the Tuesday. I'm going to say beloved Ajax, but the way you've been speaking and the way you've been playing, you've fallen out of love. You've fallen out of love.
I grew up supporting them. I have not really followed them for years. I still have an interest and I still have a lot of love for that club, but they have been abysmal in the last. There are deeper rot problems at the club that they're having problems getting out of, and it's manifesting itself on the field. They're no longer the same imperious Ajax that they used to be. This match against Benfica pretty much just sums it up. We're talking the 2 worst teams in the Champions League, ladies and gentlemen. They are awful.
4 games, 4 losses. Someone's going to get a point out of this.
It's not just the games and the losses. It is the fact that between the 2 of them, they have a negative 19 goal differential. They have conceded 22 goals. And scored 3 between the 2 of them.
Wow, this is true.
I mean, for 2 storied clubs like Benfica and Ajax to be in this situation is eye-opening, shocking, and yet at the same time speaks to the quality level of everywhere else in Europe that has risen up around them. And they have failed to, right? They have failed to adapt, and they are not floating. They are sinking, and sinking painfully. So the only good thing about this is that they both can't lose. So one of them
will
actually have a point.
Well, they will both have a point or 3 points, right? So there will be points available here. That's it.
Well, that's true. Oh, yes. Yeah, I hadn't thought of that.
One of them can't draw.
That was good. Sometimes you come through, Gary, on the logic.
And that's why you should. Right. That's why you should like, follow, and subscribe for those insightful analytical points that not everyone can see and understand. Yeah. But yes.
Yeah.
Jose Mourinho with his 3rd game as Benfica manager. He's had 2 losses. I get the feeling that Jose's 3 as he played. No, because I didn't think he didn't play the first game. Remember, the manager got fired for the first game.
But this is game 5, so there's been 3 losses.
Jesus, look at us keeping each other honest as well. I mean, it's a special.
I might not understand that a draw gives 1 point, but at least I can count.
Okay, Mourinho with his 4th game and hopefully some points as well. So we'll see as a Mourinho fan. But yeah, you don't seem to have too much faith in Ajax, and it looks like their defense is abysmal, having conceded 14 to Benfica's 8.
This should be if everything goes according to plan, Benfica will walk out of there a winner.
Yeah, that's right. That's
100%.
right. Okay. The other early game as well is Galatasaray against Tony Bloom's USG. USG sitting in 28th in the league, and Galatasaray, I mean, where the hell? Galatasaray
I would
9th?
like
Look at that.
I'd like to take a moment. Yeah, I'd like to take a moment to talk about Galatasaray, because this is without a doubt the most surprising. This is the big surprise. There's really three that one is Galatasaray and the bounce that they got, because they were destroyed in the first match. I mean, it was so bad. I think they lost 5-0 to Real or something like that. It was horrible.
Yeah. Yeah.
The second thing, and we'll get to it later, is Newcastle's form and the fact that they're in the top 8. And then the third thing is Karabakh. But going back to Galatasaray, they based on that first game, I was like, yep, that's it. They're toast. And they've managed to turn the thing around. Now, part of that was because of some rather dubious officiating in the Liverpool game, where they were at home. They got a soft borderline penalty. We're able to translate that into a 1-0 win. And since then have been going on a tear. I mean, listen, good for them. I'm not going to, I don't have any strong opinions about it, but I do find it shocking in some ways that they've been able to turn this thing around. And a lot of that has been because of the performance of Victor Osimhen, who missed out on winning the CAF Player of the Year.
Nominated, though, right?
He was nominated.
Yes,
I also feel incorrectly nominated, because prior to his, I believe he's sitting on 6 goals in the Champions League. He is the top goal scorer in the Champions League. It is not Erling Haaland. It is Victor Osimhen. And aside from that, I don't think he's done very much, for that club. But certainly in the last 2 Champions League fixtures, he has showed up big time and absolutely, proven that he still has some of that magic in his legs, that he can and score some utter bangers. So good for him. But yeah, I think on the strength of those last 3 games, particularly those last 2 games, they're likely a lock to
get the automatic
to make it to make it through to the advancement, right? They'll qualify.
Yeah. Top 8, yeah.
I don't know whether they'll go top 8, but they'll definitely be up there. And and it looks pretty good for them. It looks pretty good for them.
It does, yeah. No, Galatasaray are, as you say, looking on a tear. And interestingly, the thing that changed was they fired their manager, Jose Mourinho, who then went and picked up his job at Benfica. So he's gone losing his first game as Galatasaray manager, losing the other 4 games.
Yeah, the halo long fell off of Mourinho's head. All right, the man is not quite. He doesn't quite have the mojo that he used to. And when you look at them, they've conceded 6 goals, but 5 of those were in their first game. So, fine. Terrible start, great finish.
bounce. Great bounce,
right?
Yeah. Great bounce. That's why managers get sacked and hired for the bounces. Okay, moving on. Then there's Dortmund-Villarreal. This seems like Villarreal only have got a point. I don't think they're going to be too much of a threat, particularly with Dortmund being at home as well. And although the one thing I will say is Dortmund, they've scored a lot of goals, but they've also conceded an exceedingly large number of goals for a team
that their defense is terrible.
Yeah, defense
it's among the worst. It's among the worst in the Bundesliga, and not great in the Champions League either.
Yeah,
so.
it's really not. Yeah, so that could be a goal thriller as well. Dortmund are at home, so you would expect them to prevail being at home. The other big one, the interesting one, is Chelsea against Barcelona. Chelsea are sort of sitting in 12, and then Barcelona. What's interesting about this for the narrative is, I don't know if you saw that statistic that came out during the international break, where there was some entity had basically valued the world's best, I think, top 10 youngest players and valued them. Lamine Yamal was ranked number 1, I think, at 200 million euros, I believe. And then Estevao came in at 120 million or something like that as the second. So there is
overrated.
Yeah, well,
Sorry.
I don't think
no. That price tag is way too high for him.
I agree that price tag is too high. He's probably
ridiculous.
not, but he definitely is a talent to watch out for, and is definitely getting a lot of media hype.
That valuation is a joke. That's clickbait.
So there is a narrative here where you've got essentially the two best young players in the world potentially going up each other. Now, I know Yamal has been suffering with a groin injury, I believe, so it's not completely clear if he will actually start. However, Barcelona, Chelsea, this is always going to be I think probably the most interesting and exciting game of the day.
I think it's the best fixture on paper for Tuesday, without a doubt.
I agree. Yeah.
It's a lovely one with lots of history. Yep. Right. As you say, lots of history, lots of subtext, and you're really talking about two of the best over the last 20 years. Normally you'd look at this and go, ooh, final.
Yeah.
It's a final caliber, group match. And it doesn't get any better than that.
And again, we keep on espousing the sort of the great steps that UEFA made to reformat this competition, and it does give us these mouthwatering fixtures in these early group phases as well, which is fantastic to see.
Yeah.
Chelsea are at home. Form is picking up. We'll see what happens over the weekend. Of course, we're recording this on Friday, so we don't know what happened over the weekend. But it will be an interesting one. Marcus Rashford coming back to the UK or coming back to England and playing back on English soil. Yeah, fine. Yeah, just
last time he did, he had a hell of a game.
He did.
They played against Villa.
They played Villa.
Absolutely.
Against his whole club. His old lonely club.
He absolutely unleashed hell.
Yeah.
It's got to watch out for him.
He's been a real revelation there as well. Lewandowski should be back as well. He's been injured for a little bit for Barcelona as well.
So that will be a good one.
Yeah. And then also interestingly as well, Chelsea and Barcelona next to each other, both sitting on 7 points in 11th and 12th. So
13th,
that will be 11th and 12th actually. If you look at Sporting in 13th by
it all depends on whether or not you interpret it by goal differential or something else. But that's okay. I'm not worried about it. They're all at 7 points. I won't argue that.
6-7, baby, 6-7 Okay,
nope, not doing it.
Not doing it this time. You did it on a previous. You did do it on a previous episode. Never to be done again.
That shark has jumped. Done.
The tank has been leaped. Okay, Man City, Leverkusen. I mean, Leverkusen don't really stand a chance here the way I see it, as long as Erling Haaland and Jeremy Doku are on fire and on form. You'd expect Man City to comfortably get through that. Also, Manchester City having not lost in the Champions League as well. So and only conceded 3 goals as well, looking very, very good there. So I think Man City should be there.
They are on fire, and that fire should expect it to just rip right through, Leverkusen.
Yep. Now, here's another interesting fixture: Napoli against Qarabag. I'm sorry, should I say Qarabag?
Qarabag, yeah. A massive fixture, actually.
It is.
I'm looking at the tables and studying all the trends and everything. If Qarabag get a win, they could be almost a lock for qualification.
Yes.
Into the next round.
Oh, this is where it becomes mathematically impossible for them to be under the 24th position. Is that correct?
I don't. It won't be mathematically impossible for them, but 3 wins based on last year's standings was enough for most teams.
Interesting. Okay.
So I think 3 wins is like, if you get 3 wins, you're in the running. And for Qarabag to just be in the running is a massive event.
Yeah.
Like it is pretty significant.
Yeah.
Historically, clubs from the small countries don't perform well in the Champions League, right? This really is a competition that favors the entrenched and known entities. And they are not one of those.
No.
They might be the most important club in Azerbaijan, but that doesn't mean squat outside of Azerbaijan.
Yeah, this is true. Although I will say, I mean, they played Chelsea last. I watched that game. I mean, they were effective, dynamic, transitional, counter-attacking team. Yes. And they were efficient and very economic with the ball as well. They didn't have many shots that they wasted. They got their chances and they took them. And what is also interesting is if you do look at Napoli, I mean, Napoli are leading Serie A at the moment, but yet in the Champions League, 2 losses, 1 draw, 1 win, only sitting on 4 points. They need to turn that around. Otherwise, they're going to be in trouble. I mean, obviously we all saw that Scott McTominay wonder bicycle goal for qualifying Scotland. Oh, that was I saw online. Did you see?
We man with just unbelievable.
I saw there was a statistic, not a statistic. There was a stat. Well, it was a fact rather than a stat. But yeah, it was the highest ever bicycle kick. So they measured like Ronaldo's one of like how many meters in the air and basically sort of at what point he made contact.
Fun.
McTominay's was higher than Ronaldo's one in the Champions League, which was the second highest as well. So it just goes to show that he is Captain Fantastic Scott McTominay and winning over hearts and minds of all around the world. He really is. He was absolutely fantastic.
Right.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. This other fixture as well. Go on.
Can I just say one thing about Qarabağ? They their average possession is 43.9%.
Okay.
Across home and away fixtures, they average 43% possession. There are other teams that are worse, like Brugge is a little bit worse than that, but isn't that? I find that strikingly curious.
It goes to that point about being very economical with their opportunities, right? They don't have much possession, but when they do, they use it.
But their average shots on frame, right? They average 9.5 shots per game, and they average 4.5 of those on frame. That's a very high percentage of on frames.
Good stat, yeah.
Concede the possession, hit the counter, be effective. Well, welcome, Qarabağ. You might be going. You could be going all the way into the next round.
Yeah, no, that is very true. I mean, yeah, they are sitting in 15th place there. They are in the mix. They are definitely in the mix. That is for sure. Marseille, Newcastle. This is a good one because Newcastle,
it is,
in the Champions League, as we discussed, are doing very, very well. They have the second best defensive record. They've only conceded 2 goals. And they're sitting pretty, having won 3 games out of their 4. But you compare that to the Premier League form, and it's just night and day in terms of the way they perform. So this will be an interesting test for the Marseille, as we've called them, the offcuts and the sort of the
dock rats, I believe, is the word you're looking for. That's what I coined that phrase, and you've been clinging to it ever since.
I do like it. It is wonderful.
Much like a rat on a float, but yes. No, this is the test, right? I said Newcastle is among my 3 surprises when I'm looking and studying, the stats. The fact that they're sitting in 6th place on 3 wins and a loss, they've done a great job in this league. You're correct. They've done a terrible job in the Premier League, and they're struggling. But if they keep winning Champions League games, that fan base is going to give them a certain amount of leeway because Champions League brings in the big bucks. So
it will offset it. It gives them the good nights at St. James's Park. However, Newcastle did this where remember Eddie Howe took over, got them into the Champions League. They had the Champions League and then didn't get into the Champions League last season, got them into the top 5 into the Champions League. And so there seems to be this pattern where they can't seem to handle both Champions League and League. Exactly. Yeah. So they seem to sort of not have that, be able to sort of deliver that consistency in the league when they are in the Champions League. Right. So,
but a game like Marseille should be, it's like putting a steak in front of a dog. All right. And you just, they got to go for it. And Newcastle have to even though they're playing Marseille at home, which can be a little tricky, they've got to like their odds here, especially since Marseille have managed to, upon 2 occasions, shoot themselves in the foot and drop games from dominant positions. So their consistency is just not good. And at least Newcastle has been, if anything, very, very consistent in their performance, right? I mean, Anthony Gordon is loving this competition.
He is, yeah.
If I was his agent, I'd be like, get him to Europe, man. He loves it there. But,
he's happy there. He's happy in Newcastle. But, I mean, Marseille sitting second in Ligue 1. I mean, they're only 2 points behind PSG as well. They've also, again, but I think you mentioned this as well, they seem to have a bit of a disciplinary issue as well. There's a lot of stupid red cards that are coming out of that. Yeah. Yeah.
No, they have a red card issue, and then, just conceding last minute goals and stuff. It's just, it's discipline.
Sloppy,
just comes down. It's sloppy play. Thank you. Yeah. That's the word I was looking for. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I'm a big fan of Marseille, particularly with the players that they have as well. So I'm actually hoping Marseille do well on this one as well. Yeah,
they're really enjoyable to watch. But they're frustrating as well.
They certainly are. Okay, and then the other one is Slavia Prague against Athletic.
Move on.
I mean, that's a meh. Okay, well, let's move over then to Wednesday's games. There's the two early fixtures. There's Copenhagen against Kairat and Paphos against Monaco.
Let's call it Kairat. Kairat Almaty. And again, I don't know who did the scheduling, but it's hilarious that Tuesday and Wednesday are both leading off with absolute stinkers, right?
Well, that's always been the case. So, but normally these early fixtures normally are for the more Eastern European teams for TV.
I get that.
Yeah, but this is not the case, right? Because Copenhagen is not that east of Europe, and also as well. Well, Paphos from the Greek side is on the Aegean in the Aegean coast is. But Monaco, Paul Pogba possibly making a start and a comeback there. We'll see that one possibly if he. I'm
going to apologize to all of our Cypriot listeners for the fact that my co-host called Paphos Greek. Lord,
diplomatic incident coming this. Yeah,
I mean, honestly, man, it's like
shocking. I mean, shocking.
Do I call you Welsh? No.
Rank
average. Don't disrespect. No. By the way, if I was hard pressed to pick a fourth shock or surprise that I've seen, it would be Paphos. I mean, you're talking about a club that didn't exist until I think 1993, right? So they're very, very new, both as a club, and of course, this is their debut, their maiden journey into the Champions League, and for them to be sitting above the drop zone and in 20th place with only one loss.
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, that's wow.
It's not bad. It's not bad.
That's not bad. That's damn good.
Yeah.
So, and I'd watch them. They play some nice football, soccer.
Yeah. Interestingly, Monaco next to Paphos as well when they're playing each other. As
they're like right. They're like
kissing
cousins. They're right there.
Yeah. Kissing cousins. There we go. Speaking of other teams being next to each other in the league, then the big one for Wednesday's fixture, you've got two undefeated teams with perfect records. Bayern playing Arsenal. Arsenal have not conceded a goal in this competition as well. Right? It is really impressive,
and they will here. There's no way that they're gonna blank Bayern. No way.
Yeah.
No
absolutely
way.
Not. Harry Kane coming back to North London as well, back to his arch rivals as well. So he's gonna be motivated to score, isn't he? So that will be an interesting one. He will be
so motivated to score. I can't even imagine. They're going to have to put a Tesla coil around him. He's going to emit so much energy. Like, really. It just...
Yeah.
Or a Faraday cage. That's what it is. It's called a Faraday. A Faraday cage is what they do to contain the energy. That man's going to need one. It is... Wow.
This is going to be this is a really good test. Yeah.
This is not just no disrespect to Chelsea, but this is an even better fixture than Chelsea.
Absolutely.
Barcelona. This one is so good.
Mm-hmm.
I might not even watch the Golasso show. I might actually just watch
focus on that.
Focus on this one.
Well, the upside is you do get to miss out on Nico Cantor's presentation skills, which are probably a little bit better than ours.
I'm going to toss these little softballs at you, and you just hit them out of the park.
What will be a real test of Arsenal's defence, although it has been fantastic, and even in the Premier League as well. I think they've also conceded like 3 or 4 goals. I think it's 3 goals. So, I mean, Bayern's attacking force is just phenomenal. Golise, obviously Kane, and then obviously all the rest of the sort of the gang as well that sort of can keep going.
You can pick any one of 6 players from Bayern Munich, and they're all dangerous.
They're all goal threats. They are.
They're all dangerous.
Conversely, though, it's going to be a real test for Arsenal's attack as well, because I know they've loaded up. Of course, Saka's getting back into form and getting fit again. Eze is just an absolutely wonderful player, as you know too well, being a Crystal Palace fanatic.
But he's a creator. Mm-hmm. He hasn't been scoring a lot, but he's been really influential just in terms of dictating pace, managing control, and serving up and starting attacks, right?
Yeah.
So
this will be a really interesting test. This one's too tight to call. I don't think this is going to be a 0-0. I think this has got potential to be like a sort of a 1-1 or a sort of tight 2-1 with a last minute winner and sort of, we'll pip them. But both of these teams are automatically qualified.
I actually think this is the game that breaks Arsenal's defensive spell. in my opinion. I think Bayern. I actually think Bayern's going to put 3 in the net on them.
Wow, that would be a
I know.
Be a big
I'm
one.
going out there. I'm calling it right here.
Yeah,
3 goals for Bayern.
You've also coined the term of this period, this fixtures, this schedule as the Crucible, and this is a real test of it. Arsenal, once they have Bayern on this,
the Premier League Crucible. Yes, that's right.
Yeah. Well, but the Premier League teams, then obviously those are in the Champions League. But then Chelsea then are hosting Arsenal afterwards as well. So these games are coming thick and fast for Arsenal. And so also this is where you can come undone very easily and quickly, where you pick up an injury or sort of, a knock or sort of out for a couple of games. It really does hurt you. But I do think this is definitely a great game to watch.
I think the best thing to remember about all these fixtures for these teams is, while they're important, they're not quite as must-win situations given the nature of how the Champions League group stage is done. You don't have
that
to
is
win
fair.
these.
Yeah, you don't have to. It helps you a lot.
It does, and everybody wants to be in the top 8. Don't get me wrong, but Arteta's he'll be thoughtful about this game, and I think Maresca will be the same way, as Bayern will. I don't think Bayern's schedule is nearly as hard as any of these others. So
Bayern,
they're going in all the way, and Company's attitude is going to be, go, destroy.
He's
attack,
great manager.
Knock them down, beat them up, fine, good. Yeah. That's the way they should be doing it. Yeah. I think Arteta has to be a little bit more cagey about it.
Remember,
and if both teams fall, they're just going to sit there and sort of shrug and go, I've got a game in 2.5 days, mate. Like, I'll see you at the press conference there.
It is worth noting that Bayern and the Bundesliga, the German teams, all get a winter break as well. I believe, instead of like over the holiday Christmas period, they get a winter break. Yeah. So that will be that. Again, they're not worried about the Crucible. They'll just go full pelt and just go for it, right?
Yeah.
Then looking at some of these other games that we've got coming up as well, the other interesting one is Atletico Madrid against Inter. This is an interesting one.
You picked that one as an interesting one. Yeah, I agree.
This is Inter
two of the
undefeated.
Duelist, most boring, shithouserist, defensive-minded, park-the-bus teams around deciding to play against each other. I actually think it's going to be the entire opposite. It's going to be a hell of a match.
I think this is going to be a goal threat. Well, the other interesting thing that I was looking at is, while Inter are undefeated and last season's finalists, in this, if you go and look at Serie A, just their leading Serie A, they're joint top with Roma, but they are top goal scorers by almost by more than 10 goals. They've scored 26 goals this season, so they are free flowing and scoring. However, they do actually concede as well for an Italian team, which is interesting. So Inter are a very, very strong team, and Atletico is sitting down there in 17th. They've kind of, Simeone's been stop start with them. So I think Inter probably might just have the edge here, but that will definitely be
and then look at them. I mean, in when you look at Champions League, they're among the 3 undefeated teams. They've scored 11, they've conceded 1. So what they're doing in Serie A is one thing, but they are bringing the defense into the Champions League, and on the opposite side, unleashing the goals.
Yeah,
right. If I'm not mistaken, it's Martinez mostly. Lautaro Martinez is leading the team with four goals, all from open play. So no stats padding, but that's it for in terms of their goal scoring. That's it. And then Llorente for Atletico is on their tip. With Julian Alvarez coming in second. So,
Alvarez is fantastic. It's going to be a great game. Atletico is Metropolitano, I think.
It is. It's funny. I kind of missed this one. I don't know why, but I'm glad you brought it up.
That's a good one. Yeah.
Because my pick is PSG versus Tottenham. Which is, of course, a repeat of the Cup Winners' Cup, right? The UEFA Cup Winners' Cup back in August.
Yes, of course it was. Yes, I forgot about that one. Yes,
right. So it's all coming back now, and that was when Frank was just like new into the role. I think it might have been his first formal game with Tottenham. And so this is good. Tottenham's form has been solid, and PSG has been good, but they kind of shaky. I mean, they're not like exactly ripping through everybody, but
But if you recall last season as well, PSG had to qualify. They had to go to the extra. They had to go to the playoffs to qualify through this. And then suddenly, back half of the season, suddenly Luis Enrique got them cooking and firing on all cylinders as well. What's interesting here is Spurs are undefeated still in the Champions League. Yes. And I know we've been calling out and paying attention to their home form, which has been absolutely abysmal. The good news is they're traveling, they're on the road, and they are going to Paris, so they'll be able to go and play at Paris Stadium, the Parc des Princes. This is going to be a good one. I do think PSG probably will have too much for them, although I know of course they've got that wonderful African Player of the Year, Ashraf Hakimi, who just won that sort of
Hakimi, I know. Congratulations to him.
He was fantastic.
Really was of the three nominees the most deserving. Honestly, I'm glad that he won. It was the right call. It was absolutely the right call.
He was fantastic, yeah. But yeah, PSG Spurs will also be a very good one. I think PSG will probably run through Spurs here.
I think they win. Yeah, I agree.
I think they do that.
And then the last fixture, which actually has import, is Liverpool versus PSV or PSV. And the only reason that this matters is so Liverpool are still in the top 8. Okay, so as bad as Liverpool have been, with 7 losses in their last 10 games. And as choppy and as rocky as their form is, their last 2 matches, they've done the business in Champions League. And so, at home against PSV, you think they're going to have to, as they are going in, this is a must win. Like as far as their emotional and momentum, for their emotional stability and their momentum, this one is really matters. And so I'm expecting to see fireworks coming out of the Liverpool camp on this match.
You'd expect that. Liverpool are playing at home again. They're also playing at home on the weekend as well, right? And
correct. They've got 2 home fixtures in a row. So nice, easy recovery. Don't have to travel.
You'd expect them to you would absolutely expect them to be sort of on it. But there is a world in which they don't bring the business, right? They let's just say they draw to Forest and then lose. It suddenly becomes, it goes from sort of like, a bit of a wobble and a dip in form, 7 losses in 10 games to what the hell is going on over here? And slots then start going to
be. I don't think it happens. You're a little bit more cynical than I am, but I think there's enough. I think they've got it. I think they've got this.
Yeah. Okay.
And it's also just that PSV, as they're in the Champions League. They are an absolute middle of the table, and that's exactly where they're sitting in 18th place.
Yeah, that's where they belong.
They're they're just there.
Mm-hmm. Indeed.
And it all comes down for PSV. It all comes down to the individual achievements, the individual moments of excellence that are doing it. So I think Liverpool can control that and own it.
Yeah. And then, so it is worth noting, just to sort of recap, of course, the format, right? So they're going to play 8 games. So we're halfway through, obviously. And then, so they're going to play 4 more rounds. And then the top 8
starting in the back half now. We start on the tail end. Yeah.
Top 8 automatically qualify. And then the next 16 go into a playoff. And basically half of those go through. And then it goes to the traditional knockout as well. So we're halfway through and sitting there. But yeah, if you're playing, what is it? Yeah. If they're playing 8, so you sort of 7, 3, 20, you seem like 24 points available to you. You should be good with sort of 18 points should automatically qualify you, and then everything under that depends sort of in terms of I'm just sort of thinking about sort of just mathematically where do you need to be to sort of either get just inside of that.
I think it's 13 is the 13 is your cutoff. 13 you should be
in knockout territory, and you should be
able to when 2/3 of the group advances, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, actually you don't even need 13. You really need like 10. And so that's your magic number, I think, is 10.
10, yeah.
And so that's why I always make a big deal of 3 wins that gets you 9. Then all you need is a draw or 2, and you're good.
Yeah.
And I believe there were some last year that did even worse. That might have had lower and still managed to sneak in.
Yeah, let's take a look at it. Yeah, no, you're right. Actually, there we go. The cutoff line was 11. Yeah, the cut line was basically 11 points, and even then, those Dynamo Zagreb last year got 11, didn't make the cut line as well. So yeah, you need to get to 11 points, and that should be the magic number to get you through. So yeah. Okay, wonderful. Well, Qooligan, as always, that's another episode. We've got obviously Thanksgiving week coming up as well. So happy Thanksgiving to all those American listeners.
For all those who celebrate,
for all of those not in the US or not celebrating, lots of games, lots of action, lots of goals. So go and enjoy it. Anyway, we will be back. We have MLS playoffs on the other side, more Premier League stuff going on as well. This is all just the crucible period. This is the business end of the season.
Busy
indeed.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Qooligan, as always, thank you. Till next time.
Thank you. Peace.